Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD PRO, and this is 6,000 pounds. Today we are going to find out if the 2.4-liter four-cylinder turbo hybrid in the Tacoma makes this a capable workhorse to be able to tow all of your fun toys. So before we get into towing with this Tacoma on the pavement, let's go over all of the towing technology features that are available with this Tacoma. Over on this right side, there is a trailer braking system. So you have the adjustments along with being able to test that. When you push on plus and minus, you will notice that it is currently unavailable, but you have the options there for your gain with your output there in being able to adjust that. In order to activate that for the Tacoma, what you need to do is get into your settings. So push on this OK button in the middle. You're going to hold on that for a few seconds until it activates being able to get to your settings for all of these screens. So you will scroll into settings, you will push on settings. From here, you can scroll down until you see your vehicle settings. You're going to hold on this until it gets into the next page. From there, we can go into trailer settings. We need to add a trailer. You can pick what type of trailer you would like. So if you have a utility trailer, you won't have to utilize the trailer braking system. Larger trailers and double axle trailers or bigger are going to have trailer brakes. So I'm going to go to boat. We can also go into the hitch type. I have a ball on the rear end there. I can go into the length as well. So that way the vehicle knows how big. I'm going to go up just a little bit to 24 feet. This trailer does have 2 axles, so we can click on 2. And then for your brake type here, it looks like you have several options here depending on the weight. I'm going to go to 5,000 plus. And then you can also push on save. So then when we exit out of all of this, we can now use the trailer braking system. Now it won't work at a standstill. It is going to be operated by the foot brake on the left side. So when you push on the foot brake, this is automatically going to engage with the settings that you have set up. Now, as far as some of the rest of the technology goes, down below, we have the view button for the camera system. Now, what's really helpful about this is that if I put the vehicle into drive or reverse, we can pull up that camera system, and even if it's in drive, push on view, and now we can also look at the back here. So we can make sure everything is hooked up, everything still looks to be normal. We also have the bed view too, so we could get a little bit different of a view, and we also have the digital rear view mirror just to help with added visibility, seeing behind you there slightly. And then I also want to show when you put it into reverse with the additional camera systems, you can also look at your side here. So you can go left and right. It's not the best image for that quality, but if I go ahead and reverse now, you can see what is on both sides along with the trailer. So it's going to be helpful, especially in slower speed situations. If there's curbs or something around you, you'll be able to look at those. And then we do have the 360 view, which actually shows just the vehicle. So it doesn't show anything behind it, a little bit there, but it's kind of distorted there. So that angle's not going to work. There's also the trailer backup assistance. This is a really cool feature. So let's put the vehicle into reverse. There's a few steps that we have to go through in order to activate this. We need to first select the trailer that we're in. Step 1 says to drive straight forward slowly. You will notice that will pop up on the infotainment system as well. So we actually have to drive quite a ways. So as we let it just kind of get familiar and do its thing, we will just keep driving until it tells us to stop. So it looks like step 2 now. Stop vehicle. Make sure that the blue line is aligned with the trailer. We'll look at the center screen. Is it aligned with the trailer in the camera view? We can click on yes because it is. Step 3, drive forward slowly, making a sharp turn. So let's drive forwards and let's go to the right. I'm not exactly sure how steep or sharp this turn has to be, but we will just let it go until it tells us to stop. Oh, okay, continue straight forward slowly to align the trailer. So we need to get the trailer to be directly straight behind us. All right, step 5, stop the vehicle. So it looks like it can calibrate and we are set up. So let's go ahead and put the truck into reverse. We can push on this backup assistance. We want to make sure that we have the vehicle or the trailer selected, so we'll just hit continue. From there, it's going to detect the trailer and we are good to go. And if I start turning the steering wheel, you'll notice that we can actually change the trailer direction just by doing that. So of course, that is going to indicate which way that the trailer is going to go. Now, if I put the vehicle into drive and we can move forwards just a little bit more, you can actually use a hands-free option. So let's put this into park, put it into reverse. We'll simply just push on this icon right here. That is going to adjust the steering wheel, and as I go in reverse, it is going to straighten out the entire trailer. So as long as you know which way you are going, the vehicle will straighten that out for you. So let's say we do a really sharp turn just like this right here. We can put it into reverse and we can use that icon by turning it on, and the vehicle is going to automatically get us back basically to that position that we were just in. So as long as you know where the trailer is going, you can either use that or you can use the arrows to help you know which way that the trailer is going to go. So now we are into reverse there as we come to a stop, and we can straighten it out. Now, if I turn the steering wheel, it's going to deactivate that, or we can just shut it off. And then last up, this does have a tow haul mode. If you push on that, it is simply just going to show tow and haul over on that left side. What it's going to do though is just change the shifting points with this 8-speed automatic. So it's not going to shift as much, or it's going to hold a gear. We'll have to test that out once we get out on the road. I have noticed though that it actually shuts off the engine start stop. So if that's something that you don't want, it would be nice to see a separate button for that. But if that's something that you want to do, when you're at a stoplight, you can simply just push tow and haul, even if you don't have something on the back of the vehicle, and that will keep the vehicle running while you're at the stoplights. The last thing before we start testing this is when you put the vehicle into drive, pop it over into the S mode. You will be able to see S on the upper section there just underneath miles per hour. So this is where you can actually hold a gear. So let's say you're driving around town, you're not getting out on the highway, you want the vehicle to stop in 4th or 5th gear, you can just leave it like that. The vehicle is going to shift 1 through 4, and then that is it. So it's very helpful in towing that extra weight. You don't want the vehicle to bog down in one of those higher gears. You can use that as needed, which is very nice. So let's work our way now to the boat ramp itself. Now I won't actually be launching this, but we can at least get down the ramp there. And so now it's time to shift into reverse. I want to use this system here just to show. So as I'm turning it, it's telling me which way that the trailer is going. And so that way it's just a little bit helpful, especially if you've never done this before. But now that I straighten out, let's turn this system on and see what it can do as far as making the trailer straight. It's not actually going to know which way it has to go. So I have to take over from here so that way I can get it to go down in this right spot that I want to go. So as we put it into drive now, I still have the tow and haul mode on. We can give it an acceleration where we're still under 2,000 RPM. Now there's gonna be a little bit more strain had I gone farther back, but still under 2,000 RPM from a dead stop is pretty impressive. So as we get out on the main road now for the Tacoma, I don't have it in the trail or tow and haul mode, and with a small acceleration, we're getting up to speed. We hit about 3,500 RPM there with just a mild acceleration. But with the Tacoma here, I wouldn't necessarily say you're buying this to be a full-time towing rig. For me, I'm gonna be towing roughly 6,000 pounds. So this is really neat to be able to at least test this out and put these two together to see what it is like. Now there's also 2 different engine options with the Tacoma in general. For the Pro, we get the hybrid system. For some of the other trim levels, you can get the non-hybrid. So it's still the same 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo. However, you don't have that hybrid assistance. So for my needs, I want to go with the hybrid just because you're going to get that low end torque. You're going to get that electric assistance to aid you, especially from a standstill, pulling out of a ramp, something like that, where you just need that extra power from a lower RPM. So we have 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. So this is going to have plenty of power. If you go with a non-hybrid, you can still tow with it. I would be a little hesitant. It could probably still do 6,000 pounds, but it just might be geared differently and you don't get all of that extra torque to really get you up and moving. So if you are towing a lot, I would go with the hybrid. Now this is not a full-size truck. It's not a Super Duty, something like that, a dually. So it's not meant for heavy machinery or, you know, something over 10,000 pounds. But so far, for the weight of this trailer right now, it's honestly not bad. The truck's not squatting that much with this Pro suspension. And I did reset our trip odometer after a full tank. We're at 10 miles per gallon right now, but I've only gone a few miles. If you're towing though, that's really something that's not going to be important for the short distances that you do it. This truck has been averaging around 21 mpg though in general for the drive that we've done. We made a lot of content on this specific Pro, so you can check out the full review, check out off-roading it, driving on-road, and now we can tow with it. So a lot of content is going around this Tacoma, but I had a little bit of, not reservations about buying it to tow, but now that I have this on the road, I mean, it's really not struggling. You don't really feel the weight, which is nice. And just going at a normal rate of speed here, about 40 miles an hour for this road, we're cruising around 2,000 RPM. And so I have it in the tow and haul mode. Let's give it a pretty good acceleration here. So this is almost pedal to the floor. We're getting up to about 5,000, 5,200 or so. And now we're up to the speed limit. Honestly, not bad. We didn't get nearly close to red line, which would be another 1,200 in the RPM jump there. And it didn't seem to struggle. It just seemed to know that you have weight on the back. So I could feel it under that acceleration, but it wasn't like I wouldn't want to get it. So if I'm doing something like this, 6,000 pounds behind this 4-cylinder is very impressive. I know a lot of people are not liking that Toyota went away from the V6. I sold my 3rd gen Tacoma that had the V6 engine. I did use it to tow similar weight to this. I didn't do it as often, but this 4-cylinder seems to be fine, especially for the hybrid. The hybrid is the big key factor there, especially with all that torque that you get. But for everyone who is knocking on the 4-cylinder, you have to drive one. You have to experience what this vehicle is capable of. The last 3 or 4 days, we've been off-roading, driving it on the road, towing now with it. We've been doing a lot with this truck to really experience basically its full potential. And until you drive one and get that experience, I am personally thoroughly impressed with this 4-cylinder engine and the towing that it can do and just everything about this engine. We do get a little bit better fuel economy. It's not a significant jump, but we also have all of this power compared to that outgoing V6. So if I could do almost a drag race between the 3rd gen and this with a trailer on the back, this is probably going to get up and move a little bit quicker. So I need to make a pretty tough turnaround here, but I want to go to that camera angle that I showed earlier, going all the way to the trees there. I guess it's a little bit helpful. I have a blind spot right now where I can't use my side mirror. If I'm looking out of that mirror, all I see is the front of the boat. But here, I have the extra visibility, so I don't have to look over my shoulder to see what's around and what's right next to it. That is pretty cool. I didn't have that on my 3rd gen Tacoma, so that gives me a lot more visibility rather than just looking at the boat itself. So I want to do one last acceleration for today's video. We're going to get up to about 55 miles an hour, which is almost highway speeds for today's test. So just a mild acceleration, listen to the truck. And just over 4,000, and we're up to 55 to 60 miles an hour. One thing I also want to talk about too is the lack of gear hunting in this new transmission. Compared to my 3rd gen, it had a 6-speed automatic. I re-geared it to where it was a little bit smoother. We have a brand new 8-speed for this Tacoma. I haven't had any signs of gear hunting, and especially now, having 6,000 pounds behind us, we have some hills that we'll be driving up and down here. I mean, we're holding at 2,000 RPM, 55 miles an hour with 6,000 pounds on the back of this truck. It is doing this very fine. It's not screaming in those RPMs. It's not gear hunting. It is a smooth drive, both with an empty trailer or nothing on the back versus just cruising with the extra weight. So as far as the beginning of this video goes, checking out the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo hybrid, I'm impressed. This thing can tow. It's a tow vehicle, not a Super Duty, not something like that. If you're in the, 3,000 to 6,000 pound range, it's definitely going to be very manageable. So if you're looking for a boat, you're looking for a big enclosed double axle trailer, maybe you're even pulling a small car, taking something to the track, whatever it may be, this is pretty confident right around that 6,000. You could push it a little bit more to the max, 6,500. Up a hill now, we're only at 2,600 RPM. I'm not sure what gear we're in, since I wasn't paying attention to that. We're probably in 6th or 7th. but we're hovering right around 2,600 RPM. In my blue V6 Tacoma, we would probably be at 3,500, maybe 4,000. It really screamed, especially at these speeds. So in today's video, testing out the hybrid Tacoma, it's really a fantastic truck. I can't wait to own mine after spending my week with the TRD Pro. It checks all the boxes for me. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video checking out towing with the Tacoma. Give the video a huge thumbs up, consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on our daily uploads, and I will see you all in the next video.